Good evening everyone, and welcome to a new video on the channel. Do please remember as usual to like, to comment and subscribe, as it really does help us developing this new channel. It is Wednesday the 22nd of April, and this evening we're off for some Wearside League action as we go and see the champions Seaton Carew in action against Durham FC Corinthians. So let's head over to the seaside and see what on earth is going on. So here we are in Seaton Carew, and coming into tonight's game, Seaton Carew are top and champions of the Wearside League Premier Division, which means that they'll be playing in the Ebac Northern League Division 2 next season, Step 6 for the very first time. And their opponents this evening, Durham FC Corinthians, are in 7th place, and they'll be disappointed with the season that they've had. They've actually been trying to get promoted to the Northern League themselves for a good few seasons now. They were actually unlucky last season. They were locked in a battle with their near neighbours Durham United. It looked at one point as if Durham United might even fail the Northern League ground grading over at Maiden Castle, but they managed to sort that out. So Durham Corinthians missed out, and they haven't quite been able to replicate the form they showed this time around. So let's head into Hornby Park and see how it all pans out. It is a new one off the list. And when you approach Hornby Park, you can see the sign there, welcome to Hornby Park. You'll see that there is a cricket ground around the outside, quite well appointed. Let's go through the gate and have a look. And a very nice cricket ground it is. Not quite the weather for it this evening. There's still a bit of a nip in the air, but you can see there's some nice seating and decking out here, and a nice balcony. And on a warm day, a warm hot day, this would be, I'm sure, a great place to watch a game of cricket. And there's the clubhouse inside the cricket pavilion. World Snooker Championship on TV at the moment. You can see the changing rooms in Hornby Park are some way away from the ground entrance. And here we are at the main entrance to the DCD Teamwear Arena, to give it its proper sponsor's title, otherwise known, of course, as Hornby Park. Let's head in. As you can see, there is a little sort of tea bar area here behind the pay hut. Not quite sure if that's going to be open tonight. We'll find out in due course, no doubt. And behind the goal here, we've got a newly installed bit of covered terracing to protect you from the elements, but hopefully won't be needed. We've got new dugouts here on the left hand side, a walkway around the pitch, and some more buildings up behind the other goal. So let's go down there and see what they're all about. And a side-on view of the new dugouts. Just a quick view for how close we are to the sea there. I don't know if you can just see over the horizon. It's not very far at all. And behind the goal here, we've actually got a set of buildings that are just in the process of, I think, being built and finished, ready for the Northern League arrival. So here you've got male and female toilets. Yep, they're locked at the moment. And this is going to be the home team dressing room next season. And that's going to be the match officials changing for next season, and the away team dressing room. So all of this is very close to completion, so they won't have had any trouble getting the grading, and they're going to have a brand new food hut as well. So everything in place for Step 6 football, and it will just be a matter of tidying things up in the summer. You can see again just a view of that end. Obviously they haven't completed the concrete walkway behind that goal at the moment, and they've still got to add this one along the sides, and of course they'll have to install floodlights all before the deadline of March next season. March next year, of course, that's how it works. You get a year to do these things. Close-up view there of the dugouts, but as you can see, everything's very close to falling into shape, ready for their start in Step 6 football. And the teams are out for tonight's game at Hornby Park. The home side, Seaton Carew, in their regular black and white check shirts, and Durham Corinthians today wearing blue shirts and black shorts. And we're underway here at Hornby Park. Connor Johnson playing the ball forward. Now Corinthians on the attack. It's Alfie Jordan. And an effort well wide from Josh Stradling there for the first chance of the game. Croft on the ball on the right, and can't quite thread it through. It's going to be picked up. Ryan Finn, the captain, trying to get another attack going. Finn again. Now Croft, and back to Connor Johnson. Ball played through, and a bit of a tame effort there at goal from Robbie Lithgow. The error has led in Croft across goal, and punch clear. And Corinthians just about get away with it with the help of their keeper Rennick, and now they try and break down the right. It was Jordan inside to Kelly, and now an effort way off target. That one's on its way to the cricket ground. All around the corner and across the face of goal. And Kelly's effort was blocked, and that's held by Alinsall. Noah Godfrey with the throw. And Matt Bradley wins the first corner of the game, and it goes to the home side. So it's going to be Robbie Lithgow with the first corner of the game to Carew. Fires it into the mixer, and punch clear by Rennick, and the referee blows for an infringement. Finn heads goalwards, and it's going to be easy for Rennick. And just wide there for closest anyone's come so far, that was Jamie Farrell for Corinthians. Lithgow, and a fine finish from Robbie Lithgow. And Seaton Carew take the lead. It was a ball played over the top, and a first time effort from Robbie Lithgow low into the net, giving Rennick no chance. It is 1-0 to Seaton Carew here at Hornby Park. And still keeping it alive, and that's a good chance for Jack Mitchell, the captain, and he puts it over when perhaps he should really have found the target. And it's an equaliser, and a good finish there from Jamie Farrell, and Durham Corinthians get an immediate reply against the champions. It's all square here at Hornby Park. Stevenson on the right and wins the second corner. So it's going to be Lithgow with the second Seaton Carew corner of the game. Fired into the box and punch clear by Rennick. Picked up by Cockrell. And a free kick. Godfrey. Stewart into Godfrey, and another corner. So Lithgow with the latest corner for the home side. Once again it's into the middle, and in fact it goes over the top. Lithgow on the left plays it across goal to Croft, and just about dealt with by the Corinthians defence. Ball still not cleared though, but now Corinthians can bring it away. Ball up down the right hand side. It's good work from Jordan into Farrell, and he fluffed his lines when there was a good chance. Croft with the ball through to Stevenson, to Stewart. Stewart on his right hand side goes for goal, and the referee blows the half-time whistle here at Hornby Park. It's been an even match so far. Probably the clearer cut chances have fallen to the home side, but Durham Corinthians haven't been without their efforts on the counter too, and so it's all square here in the Wearside League Premier. Seaton Carew 1, Durham FC Corinthians 1 at the break. So half time then, Seaton Carew 1, Durham Corinthians 1, and I'm guessing it's the usual thing that we've seen ourselves with Redcar Athletic, of taking your foot off the pedal slightly once you've won the title. And although I haven't seen Seaton play before this season, I think it's fair to say that even as a neutral you can observe that there isn't the intensity in their play that you would probably have expected to be there prior to them wrapping up the championship at the weekend. That's not to say that they haven't looked neat on the ball. They've passed it around nicely at the back, and they've looked dangerous when probing forward, but just that extra something that you get with title winning sides, you can see it's not quite there tonight. And I gather the celebrations went on long into the night on Saturday, so perhaps we shouldn't be too surprised. Nonetheless though, they've shown some qualities on occasions that suggests why they've only lost one game in the league so far this season. For Corinthians, again, a case of what might have been for them in the league this season, but they've looked good on the ball, carved out some good openings, and they do look a decent side in fairness. So you have to say you'd be hard pressed to say on the evidence of the first 45 which of the two sides have won the league. Let's see what happens after the break. And we're back underway here at Hornby Park, where I have to say, considering it's the end of April, it is absolutely bloody freezing. So Robbie Lithgow with the first corner of the second half. Fired into the middle, and a chance at the far post there for Bradley, but he's not been able to take it. Lithgow across the face of goal. Farrell. Now Jordan. Patterson, and that's going to be a corner for Corinthians. So it's going to be Alex Morland with the corner for Corinthians. Fired into the box, and it's onto the roof again. And just dragged his shot wide there. That's Jamie Farrell, the goal scorer, trying for a second. Stewart plays the ball through to Croft, and a great finish from Croft. It's Alfie Croft who restores the lead for the home side. It's a through ball from Stewart, and a great finish from the midfielder. 2-1 here to Seaton Carew at Hornby Park. Cahill, ball through to Stevenson, and the flag's up again. Lithgow does well to keep it in, crosses over and headed up in the air by Cahill, punched by Rennick, and now Finn. And it's going to be a goal kick. Lithgow with the cross, and headed over. Stevenson into Lithgow, and again Rennick gets away with it, and it's a corner to Seaton Carew. So Robbie Lithgow again on corner duty. Goes near post this time, but cleared only as far as Finn. Now Stewart goes for goal and it's well off target. So a corner to Corinthians. And headed goalwards by Jack Mitchell, the captain, but held by Alan Sewell. So Lynn Lithgow with the corner going short this time, fired in and headed just wide by the substitute. So a late corner for Seaton Carew. And fired over. And indeed the referee blows the final whistle here at Hornby Park. And it was an evenly contested tie in fairness, but it ends with a 2-1 victory to the home side. It finishes here, Seaton Carew 2, Durham FC Corinthians 1. So it finishes Seaton Carew 2, Durham Corinthians 1. And I think it was just about the right result, wasn't it, on the balance of play tonight. Certainly there wasn't a whole lot between the teams on the evidence of what we saw tonight, but you've got to factor into that, obviously, as I said at half time, the fact that the home side have now secured promotion, and so perhaps that extra bit of edge that teams get when they're looking to get over the line in title races goes out of the window a bit after you've clinched the title. We of course have seen it ourselves over at Redcar Athletic since we clinched the title some weeks back. But nevertheless, they're an accomplished side, Seaton Carew, and I'm sure that they will acquit themselves well in the Ebac Northern League next season. Obviously, they'll be looking to add a few more players with experience of the division to complement the core of their current side. Certainly, the ground over there at Hornby Park is shaping up nicely with all those new facilities behind the goal that will get completed during the summer, so everything will be there in terms of their T-bar and their officials and players' dressing rooms, and of course they've already got an entrance hut and a cam bar at the front anyway, and that cover behind the goal. I'm told that they're hoping to have their new floodlights in time for them to compete in the FA Vars next season. Obviously, technically, the ground improvements don't need to be completed until March of 2027, but they're planning on having the floodlights up in time to compete in the Vars and the seated stand, you know, well in advance of the deadline. So everything looking good. A very good setup over at Seaton Carew with lots of sporting facilities, as well as obviously cricket and football back pitches. There was rugby over there as well, so it's an impressive sporting facility for the people of Seaton Carew. So we wish them well in the Northern League next season. That wraps up tonight's video, and we will be back on the channel on Saturday with the final match of an excellent season for Redcar Athletic in the Northern Premier League Division 1 East, when they exit the division exactly the same way that they started it. Our first game at step 3 in a competitive fixture was against North Ferriby in the FA Cup at home at Green Lane, right at the very start of this season. Our first game as a step 4 club, rather, where we were wondering, you know, are we going to be able to compete at this level? Well, I think we've answered that particular question, and perhaps it's fitting that we're exiting at step 4 as well, playing away at North Ferriby. And so that will be the next game on this channel, Saturday the 25th of April, as we bear our fond farewell to Northern Premier League Division 1 East, ready to take up our position in the Premier Division next season. So join me for that one, and until then, thanks as ever, much appreciated that you all are watching Just a Sec TV.